Hi, I'm Elyssa, Digital Content Manager for Hotel Business Magazine, and I'm here with Mark Shalala, SVP of Development, Upscale Brands for Choice Hotels. Thank you so much for speaking with me, Mark.
Abby, thanks for having me. I appreciate the opportunity.
Of course. So let's just jump right in. Let's talk about Choice as a parent brand. How did the company perform in 2020 and this year, which were, challenging times for this industry?
Yeah, goes without saying, the last 18 months were extremely challenging and probably the most profound correction that we've had to work our way out of as an industry. That said, Choice Hotels came into the downturn with an extremely strong balance sheet, and our asset-light, franchisee-focused business model really proved to be resilient and allow us to weather the storm a little bit better than most. We just reported our Q3 earnings last week with some really great data points, but the driving sort of takeaway from that was that Choice continues to drive really strong RevPAR growth, outperforming the industry, and gaining share in every one of the segments that we compete in. We delivered an 11.4% system-wide RevPAR increase Q3 21 versus Q3 2019. Really important that I pause and emphasize we're benchmarking off pre-pandemic RevPAR levels of 2019. We see that trend continuing into the fourth quarter. In fact, we just logged 5 consecutive months of positive RevPAR growth this year versus 2019. Which is really great because what it means is our owners have now shifted from survival mode from the early days of the pandemic to now really back on the path of profitability in their hotels.
What are some lessons learned during COVID and post-COVID that have informed you and your company going forward?
Yeah, so really some interesting trends evolved through the pandemic that played into some of our existing strengths. One, you had, with the borders closed, you had a lot of Americans still really wanting to travel and out there rediscovering domestic leisure destinations where we already had a pretty strong foothold. That, in addition to other trends like the early retirement wave and the work from anywhere trend, really kind of shifted travel patterns and drove a lot of new types of guests to Choice Hotels, particularly our Cambria and Ascend brands. These guests are looking for unique local experiences and modern amenities, and we deliver that with our brands and their locations. So now our developers are keying off some of these insights and looking at their 3 to 5 year plan of where they want to develop to capture this new brand. So that's been pretty interesting. I think coming away from the pandemic, the trends that are going to continue to last are strength in leisure, the demand for select service product, as well as longer term stays. And Choice Hotels is really positioned to capture that business with our well-segmented portfolio of brands.
I know there's a great story to tell about the segment and in general, more specifically about your upscale brands, Ascend and Cambria. Can you provide a quick snapshot of their performance in terms of growth and opportunities?
Sure. So we were fortunate that both Cambria and Ascend had extremely robust development pipelines in place prior to the downturn, which has really carried us through this period. But we were really excited to report that our upscale portfolio combined netted a 22% domestic room count increase this year. And on the performance side, both brands continue to gain share. They continue to outpace their local competitive sets, driven by an 11% increase in ADR. So it's been really exciting to see our upscale brands not only be able to maintain rate during these challenging times, but actually show double-digit growth. So for Cambria specifically, we continue to aggressively invest in that brand. Currently, we have 58 open hotels. We have 19 hotels under construction, and we plan to open another 5 properties before the end of the year. Just got back from a groundbreaking ceremony in downtown Austin, which will be our 3rd Cambria in the greater Austin market. This is a 14-story, 212-room property in the heart of the Rainey Street Entertainment District that we're really excited about. And back in August, we celebrated the grand opening of our Cambria in one of the most prestigious wine regions in the world in Napa Valley. So we're really excited about that project as well. On the Ascend side, Ascend continues to be a bright spot. The value proposition and soft branding remains really strong, and that's evidenced by the average of about 25 to 30 properties we've been able to bring into the portfolio over the last 3 to 4 years.
And on the subject of Cambria, I understand you recently launched a new cost-effective prototype designed for secondary leisure markets, another segment of this industry that's performing quite well right now. Can you share some details on that and some strategies behind this?
Sure. So for the past 6 or 7 years, we've been really trying to drive the Cambria brand into the top urban, sort of top RevPAR markets across the country. You do that because you get visibility for your brand, and you drive higher performance for your brand because of the RevPAR that's available in those markets. We've done a pretty good job with that strategy. We're in 36 of the top 50 RevPAR markets and in 8 of the top 10. But towards the end of 19 and early 20, what we noticed was that developers were starting to shift their focus on secondary and leisure markets. And at that time, we started having discussions about creating a different prototype that would kind of be right-sized for those secondary markets that have typically a little bit lower RevPAR. During our opportunity sizing, what we found is that a lot of the legacy brand product in those secondary markets was very prototypical, it was dated, and quite frankly, a little tired, the average age being 15 years old. So we thought, and we're confident in, that bringing our design-driven, experience-driven Cambria concept delivered inside this highly effective, highly efficient new prototype option give us a chance to be best in market and really drive performance for our owners.
Well, Mark, thank you again for taking the time to speak with us today.
I really appreciate the opportunity, and thanks so much.